So what was informing the appointment of these members to the cabinet? If you can have Aisha Juma tasked with the responsibility of reforming our civil service, which has challenges, I fear that is not something that is going to work. This is a cabinet that was informed by political expediency. The president has actually appointed 2027 campaign managers, regional campaign managers.
Yeah, we need now to wake up and watch this kind of leaders talk. The new appointment of the new CSS who are going to accelerate the development of this country by the president. And now in parliament, they are criticizing the act. And now there's predictions which are made that this new CSS which have been appointed are the new plan for Ruto's 2027 rigging of election. 2027 right now is being planned. And the Kenyans, we are quiet and celebrating that the president is taking a very good action to make this country move forward. So guys, there's three things I want you to understand. In this Kenya, you need to understand we have political class. And in the political class, they are the business people. And we have people who call themselves business class, business community. Alafu tuko na mbogi ingine working class. Unaona? Sasa na alafu wengine wanaitwangwa the rest. Alafu ukisikia business community talk about Mount Kenya. Yeah? Na hapo kwa Mount Kenya ndio bado tunapata politicians, si ndio? So politicians bado ndio wanataka politicians bado ndio businessmen, ndio investors, si ndio? Alafu ndio wana plan vile Kenya inafaa kurun, ndio wanafaa ku promise the rest working class, na hao wengine wanafaa ku advise by the Mr. President awambie vile tutapanga hii Kenya isonge mbele, si ndio? Sasa hao rest hao mtakuja kuwa na advantage kweli? Business community watakubali mkuwe na mabiashara Kenya kweli? Hey. Political class, unafikiria hata mkiingia kwa street mkriot, if you are not taking a serious and ultimate action, do you think itawin kweli race? Equality unafikiria itakuja? I just want you to take a little moment and watch Mbadi vile anaongea, and I want you to predict what the Mr. President is doing right now ku choose, ku select na ku nominate the new cabinet secretary. What is his hidden agenda? What is his hidden agenda? Just take a look and watch this video.
That we give him a cabinet that is not going to function because he's ready to run the entire government system, machinery and structure from State House using advisors. Otherwise, we would not have a cabinet that we have today. The cabinet is deficient in terms of academic, in terms of professional competence, in terms of experience, in terms of integrity. Many people with cases. Look at the case of Davis Chirchir, Mr. Speaker. This is the same gentleman who was removed from office in 2015. Removed from office on matters of corruption. This gentleman, how many Kenyans, if you ask them today, would remember that he was holding the docket of energy? Very few, meaning he left no impact in that ministry. And then you are leaving a lady you have already appointed to the cabinet called Rebecca Miano, who has enough experience, expertise, knowledge, capacity to run the Ministry of Energy, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order from Chepkonga.
What is the point of order? It's just argument. Point of argument, wasting my time.
Mr. Speaker, you know, Honorable Mbadi knows that I know the law. I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 83, as read together with Standing Order number 91, on the accuracy of your information. Mr. Speaker, would it be in order for Honorable Mbadi, who has been sitting in this house, he knows that Mr. Chirchiri was never charged in any court of law. He was removed in a very capricious manner. He cannot quote any case here. He is just bringing some market talk from outside. Mr. Speaker, he is under an obligation to be accurate. If he thinks that somebody is corrupt, he should give us. In any event, you had the government the last time. You should have charged him in a court of law. But you cannot just come and engage in a market talk here, in a serious house, Honorable Mbadi. For goodness sake, please, what a case in which Honorable Chirchir has been convicted or has been charged with an offense.
Honorable Mbadi.
You know, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Chepkonga is lucky that Chepkut is no longer there. He would lose in the next election. Mr. Speaker, the threshold, Mr. Speaker, the threshold under Chapter 6 is higher than cases being in court and such like, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the threshold for approval in this House, we are not a court of law. In this House, we are approving you based on your capacity to hold office. Look at the lady Penina. She is being disapproved simply because she could not talk properly in the committee. And you are telling me that a name that has been brought here by none other than the president as having been mentioned in matters corruption, that person is as clean as cotton. Mr. Speaker, let us be serious. Even if, and I've never been in government except in 2008 to 2013 when I was in Nusumukati government. I have never been in government since that time, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, we have a choice to make either decision to reject over 60% of these names or give President Ruto his skunk. Let us not interfere with it. We give it to him. He has asked for it. Let us give him his cabinet. We know he's going to run the government from State House. These are not people who can run a government. Apart from a few individuals who are not even more than 8, the rest are incompetent, unqualified, have integrity issues, are people who cannot deliver this country from where it is to the next level that we want the country to move in. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I will oppose most of the names.
The position of the ODM party, to which I belong. In fact, I don't just belong to ODM, I am a ranking member of ODM. For records, I am the Secretary for Political Affairs in ODM. And therefore I sit in the Central Committee of the party. You're also aware that I'm also the leader of the minority party in the National Assembly, courtesy of ODM, where I lead the Azimio troops. I am very clear in my mind what the ODM party resolved insofar as the question of national dialogue and proposition to constitute a broad-based government is concerned. Both the ODM Central Committee and the National Executive Committee pronounced themselves very clearly that they are in support of national conversation. Okay? And they are in support of constructive engagement with the Kenya Kwanza government as a way of addressing national issues, national challenges. The same position was adopted by the ODM Parliamentary Group. Okay? It is only fair, yes, for us to be guided by the positions taken or adopted by organs of the party. As a disciplined and loyal member of ODM, I have got no option but to abide by the decisions adopted by the party. And therefore there's no contradiction whatsoever when it comes to the idea of engaging in a national conversation, and also when it comes to the matter of constructive engagement with the Kenya Kwanza government as a way of addressing national challenges. Remember, we have said time and again that the Kenya Kwanza government has been carrying out appointments in a skewed manner. And these appointments include appointments to the cabinet. That there are communities or sections of this country that are not adequately represented in the cabinet. Okay? So we must therefore, as a matter of principle, support any attempt to redress that anomaly. Because all Kenyans pay taxes, and all Kenyans deserve equal representation at every level of government.
The public will not really have confidence in what we are doing unless probably the president came and first of all made the changes. He has the ability to do that. But what the public knows of the people we are going to vet is actually what he announced. Now, what we are going to vet now is totally different. Mr. Speaker, what the people believe, whether they are right or wrong, is important. People act from their belief. And when they were running and attacking at the National Assembly, it is arising from their deep belief that we do not represent their interest, we are not credible to them. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I find, and you really need to clarify this, why the list you have read to us is different from what the President read. We are starting from a very weak point on that basis alone, Mr. Speaker. We really need to preserve this country, and particularly this House. The challenges are going to be bigger. Leave alone the issue that you dismiss people and then you bring them back. The question is, why did you dismiss them in the first place? But leaving that aside, Mr. Speaker, that credibility is required. We should have the same list, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Dr. Nyikal, as a House of Parliament, we are a House of record. And the record we have is a communication from the Executive Office of the President. And it must be in writing and signed by the President. And it is right here. That is the President's signature, you can see. And that is the communication letter from the Head of Public Service. The President, like anybody else, has the right to change his mind on what he has decided. What is important is the record that comes to this House. And the record that has arrived in this House is what I have read to you. Remember that nobody will become minister, one, until and unless the President has written to Parliament, two, until Parliament has sat in committee and vetted, and three, until the whole House has voted on the report of the vetting committee. That is what is important, Honorable Nyikal. We have had cases before where members were pronounced on media as having been appointed as ambassadors, and we have received communication that shows that they have been transposed from one station to another, and we have vetted them without question. In any case, the proposed names that I've read to you are not ministers until you pass in this House. So there's nothing inconsistent. Yes, Kaluma?
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm not fortunate to sit in the committee on appointments. But Honorable Speaker, let me tell the members of that committee something the High Court said a short while back as they go into that critical process before I make my last comment.
They includes you as truly here. I'm the chair of that committee.
You are the chair?
Yes.
You are the chair. And I'm your loyal assistant, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in the year 2018, this is what the High Court said regarding public appointments under the new Constitution. And I quote, Honorable Speaker, that August 27, 2010, ushered in a new regime of appointments to public office, whereas the past was characterized by open corruption, tribalism, nepotism, favoritism, scrapping the barrow, and political patronage. The new dispensation requires a break from the past. The Constitution, Honorable Speaker, the Constitution signifies the end of jobs for the boys era. Article 10 sets out the values that must be infused in every decision-making process. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying this is a critical reminder to us because we are at a point in time when the nation is looking unto this House to provide the leadership it needs. Honorable Speaker, it is for this reason that last week, even as the ODM party, independent parties of Azimio also, we sat and said that the government of Kenya belongs to all of us. And Honorable Speaker, we met as ODM and we resolved so. I'm saying this because I don't want some confusion I've seen circulating. Somebody writing saying if members of the ODM party are appointed to government, they are going on their own. We met and resolved so. And Honorable Speaker, don't say no. When the ODM party speaks, even as the Mio has spoken, Honorable Speaker, there is a tendency coming up in this country. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, let me explain to these people the law. Let me explain to these people the law. I will speak.
Order.
Honorable Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Honorable Jalas.
Yes. Yeah, we want to speak.
This is not a baraza in Langata. This is a House of Parliament. Go on.
Honorable, let me address, Honorable Speaker, what is in Article 232 of the Constitution. It says the public service will have the face of Kenya. All ethnic communities will be there. Persons of the gender quotas prescribed under Article 27 will be there. Honorable Speaker, as a person from an ethnic community, I will not agree to a position where people says everybody is in the government of Kenya except Luos. Yet Luos also pay taxes. Honorable Speaker, I therefore want to congratulate the President for the appointment, but request the President that within the week, as soon as tomorrow, we want to see those other appointments Baba was to forward to him. And we want all of them approved. And Honorable Speaker, if that can happen, then we are going to push this thing very fast. We cannot leave anybody out. And Honorable Speaker, let me send a warning. We want to tell people sending conflicting positions from the ODM to remember that they are on an interim position in those positions. We can remove them if we resolve a position and then they contradict it. This one has to happen for the good of the nation, and we are telling the government we are ready to serve to secure that Kenya moves properly. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
This is a very clear observation about what I have heard different leaders share in Parliament. And I want to tell any vigilant, any honest citizen of Kenya, I want to confess to you that in Kenya, we don't have leaders. We only have politicians who are representing themselves in the parliament, in their different positions of work, they're actually feeding themselves. They are not interested to see you guys move forward. You see what is going on in the parliament. This is not the first time. We have very few people in the positions of the government who are speaking the truth, who are representing the people. But majority of these parliamentaries, the same thing is going to be repeated. They are in the parliament, but they don't want to get down to understand what the citizens want. They are in parliament and all they're doing is argument. You see, they are supposed right now to make sure that this Kenya is now taking a different dimension after the deaths, after all these demonstrations. But you can openly see what they're speaking from their mouth is based on what they want. As long as they're sucking from the government, they have no business with you. As long as they are eating from the government, they have no business with you. Now, Kenyans, these are all the lies politicians are orchestrating in their positions. And at the end of the day, you are waiting for 2027 to come to the ground. Halafu watakuwa wanakuambia, muliona tulisumbuliwa sana na vijana, muliona tulikuwa, huyo mzee alitusumbua sana, ilibidi tumemuingiza kwa position fulani tumudanganye ili tufanye hivi na hivi na hivi. This orchestration is going to happen, and it's only going to happen for stupid, informed, naive Kenyans. Huko mashambani wataenda kuambiwa tutajenga sasa gorofa yenye haiguzi chini, gorofa inaninginia hapa juu na watu wanakaa. If you give us positions again, we promise. When they get to power, they keep on telling you, we promise. When they get to parliament, they are based on self-representation. They are guarding their self-interest. In Kenya, we have a long way to go. But not the problem. The Gen Zs are saying, Kenya is our business. I don't know if Gen Zs are going to give up, because we already see there is no change. Wale walikuwa wametoka CSS wameanza kurudishwa. Inamaanisha the same history is going to be repeated. You see? Nyani akitoka kwa hii mti aingie kwa ingine, it doesn't make a difference. It's just a tree that changed. It's a location that changed. But it's the same nyani in that forest. A nyani going from this forest to the next forest does not change its identity. It is still a monkey. You see? So we have still some monkeys in the government who are looking. Kwanza wakienda sasa ndio watakuwa na hasira. Watakuwa na nyinyi mlituchekelea tukitoka nao mtajua. Kenyans, this is the voice of wakening up. This is the voice that need you to stand for your rights. This is the only moment that your voice is going to be listened. This is the only chance we have to change the kind of governance that we have been having. If we will not take action, we will die soon. And our land is going to be taken by intruders. You will tell me later.